We all know there are a million different ways to make a living, but on this show, we are curious about those businesses that you might not know about. We're going to take a deep dive every week and talk to a successful person in their field to learn about how they got their start and how they continue to make it in their space. Join me and learn more about the business of. Welcome to The Business Of, and today we have Kim Lawton and Kristy Snyder here from Enthuse Marketing, and we are going to talk a little bit more about marketing. So ladies, tell us how Enthuse really came to be. Like, how was the journey to get to where you are right now?
That journey's really exciting. So I was the founder and co-founder, I should say, with my former mentor, first boss, so a lot of firsts.
Okay.
With my first job when I was a brand ambassador, and we started an agency together, Inspire Marketing.
Oh, okay.
And there we saw an opportunity to launch something new and different and have an opportunity to have that women owned. So the angle that we took was all education forward, and hence meeting Kristy, who was a teacher. We thought there would be an interesting place and white space for marketing plus education. And that's how Enthuse was formed.
Wow.
Yes, it was a big pivot.
So how did you make the change from being a teacher into the marketing space? I mean, it is about education.
It is about education. It is about the people, and the talent is really my primary focus in the agency. And, you know, different ways of approaching education, and education for talent, education for our clients, and being able to share that opportunity and the different approach, the different ways that people learn to think about that in our presentations and everything that we do, having that hospitality mindset and anticipating people's needs and that they are different, especially when it comes to education. So that was super exciting, and I understood that. I will totally admit that I was in a tailspin and 100% confused when I walked in on my first day, and they were like, this is our consultant so-and-so, and this is our consultant so-and-so, because everyone involved in the current program that we are managing, we called them consultants. In education, consultants are people that you pay to come in and consult and tell you what you're doing wrong. Yes. And I'm like, oh my, why do we have all these consultants coming in? And it was about, at the end of the week, when I finally figured out that that's just what they were calling the people that worked on the program. So it was a little bit of a longer onboarding, so to speak, from my background coming into a marketing agency, but it's been great, and I found my niche and really enjoyed the ride.
And unlike the first agency I was a part of, we started from ground zero. Zero clients. We had to make every introduction and every onboarding as our own. When we started Enthuse, we had a great opportunity with one of the clients we were working with at Inspira to create a new program that was education forward with the new agency. So we had a client. We didn't have an agency. We built the agency around the client, which is a really different business model. Yeah. So we were building two things at one time, building an agency and building on that client that we were able to acquire. So it was very, very fast.
Yeah. So how have you used education to really get more clients and move your business along?
So because it was such a different model, it really took us into the B2B space. So where I came from with Inspira, it was all experiential, consumer first, being out there with customers, or I should say consumers. This took us in a unique spin to go to trade and go to buyers of the product. So a lot of what we do in the hospitality space, there's what we call gatekeeper. You're either talking to the bartender, you're talking to the hoteler, and they're not necessarily the owner. And the clients that we work with in the beverage alcohol space are suppliers that have to sell through a distributor. So there's always multiple layers of people, and the story of the brand, the story of how to market that brand gets lost with all those stakeholders. So we uncovered that education was the way in to educate the distributors, educate the buyers, and then they would therefore educate consumers. So we kind of play in that space of trade relationships and how those brands come to life so that they're put on the shelf of a bar, so that they're put into a consumer's mindset, but we don't really have that consumer first approach. It's all about the buyer.
Wow, that's really a different take on it.
Right. And educating our teams, which is where Kristy, educating our teams to deliver that education.
So how does your partnership work? I mean, you seem like you have a lot more of this marketing background and dealing with the actual customers themselves, and then, or the brands, and then do you kind of just translate that to your consultants?
We've changed their names.
You've changed their names, okay. So nobody's confused.
They're actually called educators. Imagine that.
It's a better match for me. I understand that better. And advisors. That is a language that I absolutely embrace and understand what their roles are. I work to help, grow them and grow their strengths and professional development opportunities through Toastmasters, through book club, through engagement to help them, learn to be the best that they can be and engage their audience, lean in on their strengths so that, each presentation is unique to who's delivering it, but the same information is absorbed by the audience.
And I would say that one of the big strengths of Kristy's and what she has brought to the agency is we can create a beautiful marketing campaign, or we can create materials that are transformed into training materials. However, with Kristy's expertise in education, she's looking at it from the lens of, I learn different, you learn different, anybody that you uncover. So all of those mechanisms working together to get to the end result. And I think that's what's been eye-opening for me working on these programs, is seeing, I would have just had one approach and spread it across everyone. And she's like, wait. And I was like, okay. And you can just see it in our people, and how they approach problems and how they bring it to those customers with those custom solutions. And that's really what we're about, of customization. It's really been fun to see us grow in that way and really due to your strengths. Thank you.
Well, it sounds like a really great partnership that you guys both bring something to the table. In terms of, some of the challenges as you've been able to scale, you guys have, it sounds like, a different story than a lot of people. You had a customer to begin with, and then were able to kind of grow from there. Mm-hmm. But did that present different challenges as you were having other customers?
Yes, it presented. There's twofold challenges. That was a major challenge because of client diversity. So when you're an agency, you want to have a big mix of clients so that revenue's coming in just like your portfolio. With one client and building around that, it turned to, well, who do I work for? Do I work for the client or do I work for the agency? Because we were both starting at the same time. So that was a little bit of education in terms of educating our own people on who they worked for, because Enthuse didn't even have a website, and they're like, business card, who is this company? And so I think that was one of the challenges for our own people, of like understanding who we were and identifying as people who worked for the agency versus the client. And that always is a little muddy when you have one client. And then in addition to that, I think the biggest business challenge that we faced, and I'll say it from my perspective, is the COVID, which everyone else, the pandemic in itself. And the challenge for us was, we have 12 to 15 people within our headquarters office. The rest of our talent is deployed across the US, working in the hospitality industry. So we all know what happened to the hospitality industry. So they look to us like, do I have a job?
Right.
And we said, we are going to keep your jobs. We're going to figure out a way. And I think when we talk about the value of education, that's when it hit into high gear. our teams took their talent to the digital form and they created micro lessons. They started training our clients about their brands, because if you're a finance person at a large supplier like Diageo, you may not know Johnny Walker. You may not know the 14 blenders that work on it to make it that wonderful product. So we used all of their talent in a whole different way. We would train people on our techniques and tools, and then make sure that their expertise was actually seen across multiple channels.
Wow, what a great pivot to you. I mean,
I know the word of the decade, right? Yeah. But I hate using it because when I say it, I'm like, something else. But it really was, and we were able to keep our entire staff. We actually, and this is really accredited to our client, they invested in hospitality during the pandemic. And I mean, we're fortunate,
so fortunate
to have a client that would say, okay, we're not stopping the gas. We're continuing to invest. We know what's happening in the world, and we will continue to invest in this channel. And that led us to say, we're here with you. We're going to create all these programs. We did a bartender assistant program where we had calls. Like, we were almost like a telethon, if you will. We were taking phone calls and giving grants out through our clients and through the bartender assistant program, which was led by the USBG, which is the United States Bartender Guild. And our teams were like, yes, I'll get on the phone, I'll take those applications, and I'll help get these emergency funds out to this industry, because it's our industry too. So that was a really incredible way to see our team come together. And then, with our brand positioning is hospitality, it's relationships, and you could see all of that just come to life in such a hard time. And the community around that, not only the client, but just our team was incredible.
Wow. That's something to be very proud of, to have done that.
Yeah. It was scary.
Yeah.
But when you look back, now we have all this incredible content. We've built all these things, and we're like, oh wow, we built something that we didn't even know we were doing. Yeah. It was more panic mode of get something out there to keep the people busy. And then all of a sudden we look now and we're like, whoa, this content is onboarding content. It's used for distributor trading. And now we have all this evergreen content that was built. I was talking to someone the other day, and they're like, can I get a copy of that case study? And I was like, oh, those were bad times. And I was like, I don't really want to think about it. But then when we were going into the history books and archiving it, I was like, wow, this was really great work. And so something good came out of it for us, for sure.
Absolutely.
Well, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back with more. So welcome back to the Business of, and we are talking about marketing here with the ladies of Enthuse. And so, I would love to hear from you, knowing that you had to pivot so much during the pandemic, but what is one challenge that you guys have put out there that worked out better than you anticipated?
So Kim gave me the responsibility of identifying our purpose. We wanted to be a purpose-driven agency. We are people-focused. And so we wanted to find out from our talent what our purpose-driven project should be. What should we get behind? And everyone had an idea. We dabbled in Girls Who Code. There were many different women-focused projects that individuals were very focused and excited about. And we dabbled in them. We tried them out. And none of them were a perfect fit. We needed something that was unique and our own. And so we created our own foundation, the Enthuse Foundation, so that we knew how lucky we were that we started out the business with a client. Mm-hmm. And we really understand that it's very difficult for women to get started. There's 1% of venture capitalist funds go to women in business. And it's crime. Mm-hmm. It's terrible. And we were so blessed to have such a generous client, a wonderful client. We knew that there were other women out there that weren't as fortunate as we were. So we wanted to support them. And all of our people were very excited about this idea. They're like, yes,
it went both ways.
That's it. And so back in November 2017.
1 year after the agency opened.
Yes. 1 hour. 1 year. It seemed like an hour. 1 year after we launched the agency, we launched the Enthuse Foundation. And the idea that we would be a community of women, we would find mentorship opportunities. We actually launched a mentor app at that party, and had a group gathered. We had the goal of establishing a yearly pitch competition, and we use that November date. So every anniversary we host a pitch competition for women, and throughout the year we do activities to support that pitch competition, whether it be entrepreneur lunches where an angel investor might come and give recommendations to our membership on how they could better attract investors, how they can perfect their pitch. We had a Toastmaster come and visit and share her pitch advice with our membership, and one of our members was able to land a $50,000 grant after participating in that session. So that was huge. We've had other fellow women entrepreneurs come and share their story and inspire. So it's been an amazing journey. It's definitely rewarding. It's exciting. It's exciting to see the pitch competition evolve. We hosted our first one in 2018.
Yep,
and that was our first live competition. It was incredible. In 2020, we got to pivot, but it was amazing because our first pitch competition, we had only women entrepreneurs from New York City because that was our base, and we were thinking small, and we wanted to generate people in our community. But being on Zoom, we had that opportunity to open it up and involve everyone in the United States, and it brought so many more interesting businesses and opportunities and different people to support, which was incredible. And this year we're hosting a hybrid event, so very exciting.
Live stream. We had over 100 our contestants, if you will, that signed up to be pitchers. So we were so excited by the overwhelming response. We doubled down this year and had, instead of 5, we brought in 6 companies and we doubled our investment.
Wow.
So that has been one of the most rewarding I'll say ventures we've done. And to your point, it wasn't where we started, but definitely worth the change.
Wow, that's such a great mission to have as the backbone of your company, and to have it come from your employees and have it just really resonate with everybody. That's so great.
Right.
That's awesome.
And they're proud. There's a huge sense of pride about the foundation and the work that we do. And on our entrepreneur hours, entrepreneur lunch, they join in on Zoom, and in their roles, some of them have future entrepreneurs, future bar owners, future restaurant owners, and they like gathering the information so that they can share it with their clients that they're working with. But I think they're also really invested. It's like a pet project, and they get excited about the different women that they need. We had one of our regional managers went and bought cinnamon rolls from a woman in Mississippi who is trying to get her cinnamon roll business off the ground. And so he was like, holiday gift, I'm getting cinnamon rolls for my whole team. And so it's been a really amazing experience. And there is that sort of pride and family mentality.
Yeah, and when you have all of these employees, retention is the big word, buzzword right now, and the Great Resignation. These are the things that are, unique to the agency and unique to that experience for the employee. So it really keeps them wanting to work with us. And our retention rate has been the same COVID, during COVID
Yeah.
and after COVID. And I think it's really those types of programs and that mission and that purpose that keep people and keep the culture thriving.
Well, I mean, conversely, what has been something that you guys took a gamble on that ended up being a learning experience, didn't work out quite as well as you had hoped?
I think not staying true to the hospitality mindset and keeping that focus on our people. We try to go after other clients, whether they be in the financial services industry and all of a sudden we didn't jive. And so when we originally talked about having that one client be such a big stronghold, we looked back at what the pillar was of the company and we said, let's stay true to who we are and stay true to our brand purpose. If we're all about hospitality is about deep relationships and building that trust. So why are we trying to go away from the client that built our agency and really put our effort into it and growing our people within the hospitality world? And so we just kept focused and knowing that, trying to grow to get big was not right. We'd rather be small and do it really, really well than just be big.
Makes sense. Well, we are going to take another quick break and then we'll be back to learn more about what Enthuse has coming up next. Welcome back to the Business of. We have Kim and Kristy here from Enthuse Marketing. So tell me about how the marketing landscape has changed.
The marketplace, the metaverse, the world is changing at like a crazy pace. And now more than ever, there's an importance to learning and being able to share that knowledge, to anticipate the needs of our clients, our talent, just everyone, our partners in business, and being able to not only understand and learn about what's going on and what their needs will be in the future, but also to be able to share that information with them in digestible bites, right? So I think now more than ever, there's a need for education and for that love of learning and that skill and ability to share that learning with everybody in a way that they can consume it, whether it be in person, online, whatever the best.
In the metaverse.
Yeah. In the metaverse. And diving in and visiting us there.
Yeah. Anything happening in the metaverse education-wise?
We're looking into it.
Okay, all right. It seems like a very vast space. There's lots of things going on, so education seems like it should be part of that as well.
Yes, absolutely.
And then coming up this year, what are you guys most excited about in 2022?
Well, personally, and I'm speaking for Kristy here, but we talk about the people, we talk about how talent is so meaningful to us and to the work that we do for our clients. And every one of our team members gets so excited, whether they travel to New York for the in-person pitch nights or they're online supporting the entrepreneur hours and all the work we do for the foundation. We wanted to do something for our team. So we turned the pitch night into an employee event. And we are asking all of our employees if they have a business idea that they want us to invest in, or if they're in their own investment of they're looking for investors for something they already are doing as a side hustle. We're saying, bring your idea to us and we will support it and we will invest in it and we will also give them the time. So we're gonna give anybody or the person who wins, I should say, the team member that has the idea, the winning idea, they are going to get 6 months off from the agency to go build their business, and we will invest in them they will continue to have their salary and we will invest in their business.
Wow, that's a really awesome idea. You guys have built such a great culture around education and people, and wow, that's really exciting. I would be very excited about that too.
Because that's the part, right? Like, I mean, what we found I think it's that circle of education. We find and we interview entrepreneurs every day. We have one individual that works for the foundation and she's constantly fueling us with what's going on in the entrepreneurial world, what are the struggles women in business are having, and we take all of that and turn it into programs. And that's where I think the closing the loop on the education is so important, and we overstate it, is we learned from our people that they have all these business ideas too, and why they get so excited about the pitch night. Yes, it's because it's supporting the company they work for, but they also are entrepreneurs at heart and maybe don't know how to start their business. So by giving them that opportunity to say, hey, keep your job. If this business idea works, we're going to support you, and maybe you'll be a client one day.
Right. Yeah. That sounds like a great, like a win-win situation.
An ecosystem of coming back in a different way.
Well, thank you so much for the time today. It was so great to learn a lot more about women-led business, and especially about the marketing and the changes you guys are making within the industry. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in to the Business of Marketing, and we will see you guys again next week.